WHCS Cable Channel 5 presents Peninsula District Baseball. The Bethel Bruins visiting the Kecoughtan Warriors. From Kecoughtan High School, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to our game between the first place Kecoughtan Warriors, undefeated at 9-0, and the second place Bethel Bruins, 8-1, and as you might imagine, that one loss at the hands of these Warriors early in the season. First batter is out at first base.
That's Alfred Terrell, Tim.
Alfred Terrell grounding out second to first.
Young man was sick and missed a couple games, and good to see him back in the lineup. I know the Bruins are glad to have him back.
We apologize. The game started a little earlier than we had anticipated, about 10 minutes, and kind of put everything together the last second here. The weather has been iffy all day. It looks like it's going to hold right now, and we're real happy to be able to bring this battle for first place to you here on Channel 5. The pitcher for Kecoughtan starting this afternoon, that is Andy Lee. He has a 3-0 record for the Warriors. And the Kecoughtan Warriors, as many of you know, to a surprise to some people, undefeated after the first half of the season. And certainly, I think Buddy Denton would have been one of those people to be surprised, the coach here at Kecoughtan.
Well, he's very happy about it, I tell you, Tim.
The batter at the plate is Paul Hall. He is the shortstop for the Bruins. One away here at the top of the first. Again, this ball hit a high hopper to the second baseman. Has to hurry the throw, and not in time, as the good speed by Paul Hall allows him to reach on the infield hit. That was one of those high choppers that you just couldn't do anything with until the ball came down.
Well, yeah, you had to wait for it to come down to do anything, and that young man, Tim, is one of the underclassmen on this Bruin team. They've got a lot of seniors.
So now the batter will be Chris Oxenfeld. He is the pitcher for the Bruins and a highly touted player in the Peninsula District. Quick throw to first base, and Hall is able to get back safely. Our officials, the umpire behind the plate is Ronnie Martin, and Gary Butler is our base umpire this afternoon. Just two officials working this game. Left-handed Lee delivers. Oxenfeld fouls it away. One away here in the top half of the first inning. Runner on first. Quick throw, and he is back again. Pretty good move by the left-hander Lee. Us lefties have always had a better move to first than right-handers. Fouled out of play.
Tim, you're looking out here from behind the shortstop right on out to center field, and you look at those clouds, and they look pretty ominous. It looks like there's a little rain in those clouds.
The south side right now is getting a fair amount of rain, and the peninsula being spared a bit. So hopefully this game will be played in its entirety. 7 innings of high school ball. That is the regulation length of a game. Foul away again. So Oxenfeld has worked Lee here for about 8 pitches so far. I believe the count is 2-2. I was doing some homework here and didn't keep track of the balls, but I believe that is the case. Again, Hall draws a throw at first. Swing and a miss. So the first strikeout of the ball game is registered as Oxenfeld will be retired, and that'll bring up the cleanup batter, the catcher, Mike Revere. Two away, one on here in the top of the first. No score.
You see that leadoff on the first baseman.
First pitch is out a little low.
As Andy Lee's earned run, Tim, ERA is a 2.6.
Watch him going, Rick.
Oh, man, that was just caught the outside corner.
Revere now with 2 strikes against him.
We had a little timeout here while the catcher for the Warriors fixes some of his equipment, ready to go.
Revere batting .310 through the first 9 games, and we do want to thank both coaches for providing us with extensive statistics, and really do appreciate that help. It helps us immeasurably.
Well, it most certainly does. We don't get to many of these games, and when we do get to them, we like to know, what the kids have been doing. And I tell you that both of these teams have been playing well. As you said, the only loss the Bruins had was that first opening game against the same Kecoughtan, and then they have won every game since then. So they feel like they're on a roll. They're hitting the ball well.
Truly a great matchup. We couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. We just kind of scheduled this game at the last minute, and this ball hit well to left center, and it is a home run.
Number 16, Mike Revere, Tim. What a blast. Andy Lee just hung it up a little bit in the strike zone. And boy, I tell you, he jumped all over it, Mike did.
I started to say he had 1 home run coming into this game, and boy, he really got all of that one all the way over the left field fence for a round tripper and 2 RBIs. So the Bruins strike quickly with 2 runs here in the top half of the first inning.
Well, he was batting .310. That'll move his bat average up a bit.
Had 10 RBIs, second on the team, and that will give him the lead with those 2 ribbies. And that'll bring up the batter, first baseman Justin Burns, number 5. Burns hitting at .231. Takes the first pitch a little low.
I tell you, that was a nice breaking ball, Tim. It looked like it was coming in there. It was good eye on Justin Burns to hold off on that.
Lee is a little high with the second pitch, so he falls behind 2 balls and no strikes. 2 away here in the top half of the first inning. But a big blast from Mike Revere has made it 2-0 in favor of the Bruins. Fouled away. 2 balls and 1 strike on Burns. Batting .231, he's got 3 RBIs. Coming into this game, 6 hits in 26 at-bats. Strike 2 call.
Right over that outside corner. Nice pitch. Andy has been looked at like a lot of colleges, Tim. Right now it looks like he is looking at VCU.
Long throw from the shortstop, Arredondo, for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Warriors, on 2 hits, get 2 runs, a single by Paul Hall, and the blast over the left field fence from Revere. And after a half an inning, it's Bethel 2, and Kecoughtan coming to bat.
And I tell you, coming as a pitcher, Tim, if you come in your first time at the plate, you get on a mound and you're kind of worried about getting the other team out. But if your team has jumped on and got a 2-point lead or 2-run lead, I tell you, it makes you a little looser. I noticed when Chris Oschenfeld came over and gave Mike a big hug after. It's like, man, that takes a lot of pressure off. I can get out there and be real loose now. I went over to the first game that Chris got to pitch this year. He had to sit out the first game of the season because of the rule that if you get kicked out of a game, you have to do that. And with all the rain delays and everything, Bethel was ended up playing 5 games in 1 week. Well, they couldn't play the first game. Chris couldn't pitch in it. Second game, they played Hampton. I went over to see. There were 20 scouts over there with the jug guns watching this young man. They're really impressed with his selection of pitches, his arm. He's throwing it in the high 80s for the most part, and looks like when after graduation he'll go right into the pros, Tim. I know his family's real tickled about that.
Comes into this contest, the left-handers. We have a matchup of left-handers here this afternoon. Oxenfeld with a .39 ERA. His counterpart, Andy Lee, with just a 2.6 ERA, has already allowed 2 earned runs. So if he follows true to form, we should have very little scoring on either side this afternoon.
Yeah, they're both good pitchers, and they will mix the pitches up. They will try to get with the breaking board, try to get the batters to get on that front foot and not get some power. So we'll see what happens.
The Warriors will send the center fielder, Balinshan, Hat, the right fielder, and the shortstop, Arredondo, to the plate here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Ricardo, the first batter, Tim, just a junior. He was a starter as a right fielder as a sophomore for this Kecoughtan team. Buddy Denton always seems to come up with some players that just start to blossom in his program. And Buddy is real pleased with the way Ricardo is a leadoff hitter. And as you know, in baseball, your leadoff hitter really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the team sometimes.
And if you haven't already mentioned it, I want to be sure and mention it. This young man not only plays a mean game of baseball, but he comes in with, get this, folks, a 4.36 GPA. We're not talking ERA here. We're talking grade point average. And boy, is that spectacular.
Number 1 in the junior class, Tim. But I tell you, Buddy is so tickled with this team. You take all the people on this team that he's got, the team GPA is 3.265. Man, what a...
The team, that bears repeating, the team
GPA is 3.265. He says that's one of the most proud things he has this year to talk about. He said the team's not only playing well, but they all are good students.
That is spectacular, and not often enough are these athletes recognized for their classroom activities. Usually if you're a really good football player or a really good baseball player, you get lots of press, but not a lot spoken about your academic standings, and certainly an outstanding GPA situation. As a strikeout is recorded by Oxenfeld. Catcher dropped the pitch, so had to throw him out at first base. So you'll give the assist to the first baseman, and that'll bring up John Hatt.
John is a senior. This is his first year as a starter, but he's doing a great job for the Warriors this year.
Takes the first pitch right down the middle for a call strike. 1 away here in the bottom half of the first. 2-0 in favor of the Bethel Bruins. Wicked curve by Oxenfeld. And they're going to say... Oh, he was checking. Okay, checking with the first base umpire to see if he had swung at it. And the appeal is denied. He does swing and misses this one. So now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cloudy, cold afternoon here at Kecoughtan. Rained earlier in the day.
Somebody told me we had the shortest summer that we've ever had.
Yeah. And again, the ball gets away from the catcher, but he is able to throw out the runner at first on the 3rd strike. So 2 strikeouts by Oxenfeld to start the ball game. Both times the catcher has had to throw the runner out.
Well, that's the catcher, that's Mike Revere, Tim, he's keeping the ball in front of him. He's not letting it go back to the fence, so he's doing a good job of blocking the ball, but that breaking ball just goes right down in the dirt. That's a tough one to catch.
This is Arredondo, the shortstop now.
Young man has got a 3.43 GPA, Tim. He's got 3 colleges that he's looking at, Old Dominion, West Point, and Christopher Newport. But he is batting .400. That's nothing to slough off.
1-1 account. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Left-hander delivers again. This one gets away from the catcher. Their batters are really being fooled by the pitch as they are watching the pitch. There you see a good look at Oxenfeld. The pitch is dropping so drastically that they're swinging at balls that literally are in the dirt. Just inside.
Oh, look, it was a good-looking pitch all the way. I tell you, you have to be very disciplined not to swing at that ball.
And this one is hit to right center field. That's going to drop in there for a base hit. The big turn at first base, he'll hold up there, but Arredondo has singled to right field.
But, Tim, that ball was out of the strike zone and high, but it's exactly where the young Robert wanted that ball.
Well, he hit it where it was pitched.
That's right.
And that'll bring up the pitcher for the Warriors, Andy Lee. Number 13, his second year as a starter. His GPA, we're going to stay on this theme, is 2.57, which is certainly respectable. He takes the first pitch low for a ball. Lee batting a hefty .346 on the season. 9 hits in 26 at-bats. Strike called. Right at the letters. Runner on first, 2 away in the bottom of the first. Pitch is a little bit low.
Tell you, he's got, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at, I'm swinging at those balls. They look so good to me.
He's got a real wicked curve, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
This one hit almost the identical spot. This could drop in, and it will do so. Right field. Making the turn for home. And no play at home, as ending up on second base with a double is Andy Lee.
And, Tim, that ball, is just like you said, was pitched about the same exact spot that the one that was hit prior to that by, well, that was Andy Lee hit that one. The one before that was by Arredondo. And they're both going to where the ball is being pitched and right out there in right center.
So any hint of a shutout by either one of these teams is by the board, as both teams have come out swinging. And now we'll...
Richie Clark, the catcher's coming up, Tim.
See Clark.
GPA 3.14. He's one of the captains, second-year starter. And what I think is probably one of the most important and one of the toughest positions to play, and that's the catcher.
Just a quote from Buddy Denton, Richie is the most valuable player to the success of our defense. He does a great job of handling the pitchers. Having a bit of a problem at the plate to this point of the season. Just 4 hits in 31 at-bats coming in. Has a good eye, however, on the first 2 pitches. Runner at second. 1 run in, 2 away in the bottom of the first. Right down the middle.
Looks like Chris is going to challenge the hitters.
2 balls and a strike. Checks the runner. This one is hit to the left side. The shortstop Paul can't come up with the ball.
Tim, and that may a little bit have been by the base runner, which wasn't a bad move by Andy Lee.
So Lee ends up on third and Clark on first on the air. And we'll have a pinch runner.
Now this gets a chance for Clark to get the catching gear back on.
Pinch runner is Jason Davis, number 10. He is a junior. First pitch to the batter, Morocco Rock Brown, is high and outside for a ball. Morocco plays first base. He's batting .269.
Well, he's also the other pitcher. He's the one that pitched against the Bruins the first time they met.
Swing and a miss by Rock. Three-letter man, at least. The only three I know of for sure. He plays football superbly, basketball superbly, and baseball likewise. Probably just about anything else he wants to do, he can do well too.
Well, and he's going down to NC State, and I tell you, the people down at NC State not only getting a fine athlete, but they're getting a fine gentleman and a good scholar.
Pitch is outside. Runners at the corners. Two gone here in the bottom of the first. Kecoughtan trailing 2-1. Foul back out of play. Bruins struck for 2 runs in the top half of the first inning on a home run by Mike Revere. And the Warriors have returned the favor with an RBI by Andy Lee on a double. This one's high. And that'll load the bases. So Morocco Brown will get the free pass.
That brings up Kevin Green.
Kevin Green with another 4+ GPA, 4.22. First year starter, he's just a junior.
And listen, he's got a 4.22 and he's number 9th in his class. I mean, that's a tough class that he's in.
That is tough class for your 4+ and you're not even number 1. Makes you struggle that much harder to be number 1.
You got that right. He's batting, looks like about a 4.11 or 4.17. I can't read that.
He'll take either one of those, I would imagine. 4.11 or more. Got 10 hits and 24 at-bats. And strike 2 is called. So Oxenfeld with some trouble here. Bases are full. And he's ahead of the batter. 2 away in the first.
Well, he caught the corner on that last one.
Goes outside again. Good stop on the part of Mike Revere. Ball was in the dirt.
It was that. He's doing a good job of blocking that ball, not letting it get back to the screen. Of course, the screen isn't that far behind the plate, so I don't know that the runner on third would attempt to steal on it if it got by anyway.
Pitch was a little low. And the count is full. And this one is whacked to left field, but the left fielder comes up with the ball.
Man, that was
Alfred Terrell saved a couple of runs at least. The runners were moving on the pitch, and Terrell with a fine play in left field to shut down the uprising.
And I know the guys, and I don't want to belabor the point, but Tim, he had a real sickness problem there for missed a couple games, and they didn't know if they'd get him back in the lineup, and I know they're glad to have him back now. He's really quick. If you remember, he's one of Kozlowski's munchkins that he called one of those defensive backs. But he saved at least 2 runs.
So a fine play in left field by Terrell ends the inning. And after 1 complete, it's Bethel 2 and Kecoughtan 1. Coming up for Bethel in the top half of the second inning will be Burns, McKendry, and Hobeck, facing the left-hander Andy Lee. Yeah, that was a very big play by Terrell out there. Had that ball gotten in front of him or past him, it could have been a 3 additional runs. So there's no way to minimize the effort on that play.
You got that right.
This is the first of our spring sport coverage, if you will. We're going to have some variety for the fans here on Channel 5.
Yeah, we do. In fact, Monday we have a softball game that we'll be doing. That'll be on the Tuesday. That's between, I believe it's Kecoughtan and Hampton. We're playing out at Asbury.
And then we'll also have a soccer doubleheader down the road.
Yeah, I think it's coming May 11th, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of your more favorite
That's
sports.
one of my favorite sports, I'll tell you. Soccer is just right up there. All right, Justin Burns, the first baseman, steps to the plate here in the top half of the second inning.
He's batting a .231 for the Bruins.
Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. We get a chance to mention the coaches for these two teams?
Well, I think people know, but I think we ought to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, we kind of hurriedly got going here.
We got Roger Bouchard, who's been over to Bethel for, a number of years. And, of course, Buddy Denton has been a fixture here at Kecoughtan for, I can hardly remember who was the coach before Buddy took over.
Was there one?
Yeah, there was, but don't ask me who it was. But both got great programs going. I think Buddy has got a lot of notoriety. He's had some excellent ball players that's gone on to college and has done well.
This one is popped up. It'll go out of play. So it evens the count, or not evens rather, but fills the count. I get it right yet. 3-2. You know, one of the players you referred to that Buddy's had gone on to bigger and better things, of course, is his son David.
Yes.
A senior on last year's team, has done extremely well this year.
Up at VCU.
At VCU.
Yeah. In fact, he had quite a game the other night, they tell me.
So bases on balls issued to Justin Burns, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Andy McKendry.
Now, McKendry is batting .355. Also a senior on this team.
Runner on first, nobody out here in the top of the second. 2-1 in favor of Bethel. Trying to avenge their only loss this season and trying to end the 9-game win streak of these Kecoughtan Warriors. Talking about David Denton, of course, his teammate,
Wayne Spencer.
well, several others.
Well, I'm thinking of Wayne because they're also roommates. And
Right.
Wayne, of course, out of Hampton High School.
Wayne Spencer, but I was also thinking about the pitcher that was so successful for Kecoughtan, Mr. Wheeler. And out trying to steal second is Burns.
What a throw. Excellent, excellent throw.
But Brett Wheeler has had a great early part of the season over at ODU.
Oh,
so
man, and he thought maybe I'd get to play a little bit and pitch a few innings, and he has just been awesome.
5-0 at this point.
Yeah.
And real low ERA. So our congratulations to these young men that are going on to college and doing the same type of experience and the same type of success in college as they were in high school. So again, it speaks well of the Peninsula District.
Well, I was going to say their competition has to make them that good, and they get into college, and it's the same type of competition.
And McKendry is
called out.
Well, you know, I don't know if they didn't change the batting order. I said that's McKendry, but number 2 is in fact Mark Harney. So I wonder
That
if
was Mark Harney, yeah.
I think we might have had a change in the batting order here that we didn't know about.
Yeah, and we apologize for Marty not. Yeah.
We'll have to check on that, but I think they've changed the batting order on us here, Bob.
Now this is McKendry now.
Yeah, and that would mean Hobeck is out of order too with our original lineup. So we'll do some.
If that's the only mistakes we make today.
Hey, small point. And let me see here. Harney is number 2.
Right.
And that means McKendry
He's
is number 10.
He's up to the plate.
And what position is Mr. Harney playing?
He's second baseman.
Second baseman. Who's on first, right? Too hard.
No, what's on? Who's on second? What's on first? We'll get it right by the time they get up at the next
I
time.
don't know about that, but we'll sure try. At any rate, that is the third out of the inning on the swinging strikeout. So the Bruins go down in order after issuing a walk to Justin Burns. Then he was out trying to steal second, and then Harney
And McKendry.
Both
were strikeout victims, weren't they?
Well, let's work on. We'll worry about who's up next inning. Hobeck has moved now. Let's see, Mr. Hobeck is number 19.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, who's playing shortstop today?
In any event, due up for the Kecoughtan Warriors will be Ricky Wall and Chuck Payne, and then the top of the order, Balenchan. Chuck Payne, one of my favorite guys from football.
Yes. Ricky Hall, number 8. We got him right. Just junior. This is his first year starting. Had a 2.68 GPA.
Swing and a miss. So strike 2. Quickly behind on the count is Ricky Wall. And he is a strikeout victim.
3 pitches.
That's the third strikeout of the ball game for Oxenfeld. And that'll bring up the 9th batter, the left fielder Chuck Payne, number 16.
3.05 GPA, Tim, and as you said, he's one of the safeties on that football team that we were real impressed with this year on that Kecoughtan Warrior football team of Kurt Newsom's.
Well, you know what? Something has been mentally bothering me ever since this game started. It just sunk in. The uniforms are the reverse role here. Normally the team that's home is the white and the visitor is the gray. And that's what's throwing me off. I've been trying to call the Bruins Kecoughtan. I haven't done it on the air yet.
Yeah, you did it one time, but I thought I'd let it slide on by. That's okay.
That's what was throwing me off here.
Yeah.
Usually the team at home is...
Well, they only have one set of uniforms, from what I understand. This is a new uniform for the Kecoughtan, and they were new last year. And I told Buddy, I said, I like your new uniforms. And he said, thanks for noticing. We had them last year. I said, well, there you go. That's how observant I am.
We just don't see enough of these games. That's the problem. So 2 strikeouts registered as Payne goes down, and that'll bring up the top of the order, Balenchan, and he was a strikeout victim in the first inning.
But this is the same uniforms they wore when they played over at Hampton, so evidently they don't have but one set of uniforms.
Of course, I'm trying to put them in a different bracket here, but you know what I'm saying, though, is normally the home team is in the white uniforms,
yeah.
And that's what threw me off there. Okay. Strike 2 call. So Mr. Oxenfeld, after a bit of a shaky start, allowing 2 runs in the first inning, has settled down now. Excuse me, 1 run rather, and the bases loaded. The ball is stuck up in the screen.
Yeah, it didn't come down.
So I guess that means Balenchon could just keep on running, right? Wrong. He has to stop at first.
Yeah.
And that'll bring up John Happ. And he struck out in the first inning.
And Coach Jensen said he does a good job wherever he plays. He's played some first base. They move him around. He usually hits the ball well. He's a good runner. Undecided where he wants to go to school this next year, but
takes the first pitch for a strike. And you see a good look at him, and the runner is running. The ball is fair. A shot down the third baseline, and this will score a run. And Hatt will end up at second base. Excuse me, Balenchon, rather.
yes, man, I tell you, Tim, that thing was a shot down that third base line, just inside the line. Fair ball went clear to the corner before Alfred Terrell could get to it, and then he had trouble picking it up, but there was no way he was going to get that runner.
Hatt is, in fact, at second. It was Balenchon who scored. Balenchon had reached on that pass ball or wild pitch, whatever you want to call it, that is still up in the net behind us.
Well,
here.
and it was a hit and run on because he was moving on the pitch. And I'll tell you, as soon as that ball was hit, I looked at Buddy. And Buddy said was waving him home. I mean, he wasn't even, he knew that ball was extra bases. And if you got the jump off of first, yeah, he was almost a second by the time the ball went by the third base.
So a pattern has developed for Oxenfeld here. Both innings he has struck out the first 2 batters and then run into some trouble. We are tied at 2-2, and this ball gets away from the catcher again. That wicked curveball is now becoming a nemesis for the Bruins. It allowed a runner to get to first. He advanced to second and then has come all the way in on the double by Hatt. And we're tied at 2. Runner on third, still 2 away. And the batter is Arredondo. A little bit low.
This is a hard worker, this Arredondo, Tim. He wants to play college ball. He's got that 3.43 GPA.
Hit to right field. The right fielder has got it and makes the catch for the third out.
Well, we're tied now.
So the Warriors get 1 hit, but they get 1 run with that hit. And now, after an inning and a half, we're tied at 2. As I mentioned, Oxenfeld started off strong in both of the first and second innings, striking out the first 2 batters.
Well, in that first inning, Tim, there was the bobble of the air on the third baseman that could have been thrown out, and then they ended up getting some runs after that, so that always hurts you.
Well, of course, that doesn't hurt the pitcher's ERA if it's ruled that those runs scored after an error, but you're right, as a team it does, and really you're not concerned about ERAs. You are concerned about W's and L's. So as we go to the bottom half of the second inning.
Good shot of
excuse me, the top of the third, rather. I'll get it right yet.
You figure out what team is home and which one's away.
I got that figured out. I got to remember to flip my sheet over. I always have trouble the first baseball game. I'm usually calling, third down and 12 and stuff like that. So now
it's just a 3-point shot, right?
3-point shot, and then we got another problem here. We got someone again batting out of order on us here. We've got Brandon Ward batting 8th.
Mr. Bouchard gave me a...
So we're going to talk to him.
Well, he gave it to me Wednesday, in all fairness to him.
Sure. Well, he's got other more important things.
Yeah, he does.
I'm
He
sure.
gave me what he thought was going to be his lineup, and then I didn't get a chance. When I got here, I had to help set up, and he was working with his team, so I didn't get a chance to check on it. So
now the truth comes out.
It's all his fault.
That's what I thought. And we'll get it right yet. As long as we realize we're making the mistakes and then correct them, that's the important part.
There you go.
So Brandon Ward is in fact our batter. And he looks at the pitch inside. Mr. Ward is the third baseman, I think.
Yes.
Fouled out of play. 2-2 here in the top half of the third inning. Warriors have gotten their runs in single order, while the Bruins got theirs with a blast from Mike Revere. A home run over the left field fence. Swing and a miss, and down on strikes is Brandon Ward, and then that'll bring up
Alfred
a whole
Terrell.
new player.
Alfred Terrell.
I
Going back
missed-
to the, would we miss somebody?
I missed somebody. Lordy mercy.
Well, Alfred's batting .333. He's the leadoff man.
I don't even have Hoback. I hadn't even played yet. This is going to be bad.
Take us to the third or fourth inning before we're straight. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's all right. As long as we know what the score is and get the names of the players right, we'll be okay. So Mr. Terrell, who grounded out second to first in the first inning, that much I know to be a fact. Swung at the first pitch. Andy Lee delivers, and this one is fouled out of play. An error on Skip Bouchard.
Skip is, I don't know if he's trying to stop the ball or get out of the way. That might have been more in self-defense.
I think in retrospect, he probably wishes he hadn't reached out for that one. Quickly ahead of Alfred Terrell. No balls and 2 strikes. Lee with the wasted pitch, and Terrell had nothing to do with that one. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Little low, 2-2. One away here in the top of the third. On the appeal.
Yeah, the Bruins didn't like it. The Warriors did. Andy, Tim, has played on a select traveling team out of Virginia Beach between his sophomore and his junior year. He also played in Virginia Commonwealth team this past summer, and he's pitched well in the state regional American Legion tournament last summer. So he has been doing a lot of pitching. And a lot of the scouts are liking him, and he's right now looks like he's interested in VCU. We've got Bruin up to VCU. Stallnecker, the catcher from the Bruin team last year, is up at VCU with young Denton and
Spencer.
Right, Wayne Spencer, yeah.
On the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hall got a single in the first inning on a worm killer as he beat that ball into the dirt and took about a minute and a half to come down, and by then he was on first base. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Coming into the this game, he was batting .222.
Cut the corner for the third strike and the third out of the inning as Andy Lee comes back after having a tough first inning, but settles down in the second and the third inning and registers 5 strikeouts in the last 2 innings. And in order, the Bruins are out of the top of the third inning. So that'll mean the Warriors coming to bat. Hopefully,
We got that. Theirs is right. I got theirs from Buddy. This is right. And I said, okay.
Well, we're going to figure out the other one. That's not a problem. My score sheet will look like hieroglyphics by the time I'm through. But
well, you're the only one who's got to read it. Would be amiss if we didn't mention that Bouchard has a varsity assistant that helps him, Blair Wood, who's been over there quite a few years with him. Does a good job helping Roger with his team.
I also want to hasten to add, when we talk about some of the players that have advanced, moved on, we're not trying to exclude anyone. They just happen to be the ones that are top of the mind to us right now. But certainly there's an awful lot of Peninsula players who have moved into the college ranks, and when we can, and certainly we will try to recognize some of the achievements of these young men and young ladies, as the case may be.
As you bring it up, you know, the young man, Macy Brooks, who played football, is also playing baseball this year up at James Madison. And, of course, Wayne Gnomes, who was over at Phoebus and Old Dominion, is now in AA, and they're looking for him to move up to AAA pretty soon, and might have a shot at the majors as early as next year.
First pitch to Andy Lee is a ball. Oxenfeld gets the corner on that pitch, 1-1. Strike two called to Lee, so the big bender.
That ball's moving right well for Chris. As you say, he had the first two batters, he doesn't seem to have any problem with. Is that after that?
Due up after Lee is Richie Clark and Rock Brown. Swing and a miss, so Andy Lee gets his dime's worth on the cut, and he is out number one. This brings up Richie Clark, who reached on an error in the first inning.
He threw out one of the runners so far today. Coach Denton says he's got a good arm for the catcher. Wants to be a veterinarian, Tim, and with his GPA 3.14, he's got the credentials. Wants to play college ball if he can.
Strike called on the corner, 1-1. Did we also mention Richie is captain of the team?
Yeah, well, they got three captains on the team, and he's one of them. And that means they've had some leadership role. Those captains, Morocco Brown and Ardano.
This one is popped up on the right side. It will be caught just at the fence.
That was great concentration on that ball. You're right. He was right on the fence when he caught that.
Good job by Justin Burns, the first baseman for the Bruins, to make the grab. And now with two out, the batter is Morocco Rock Brown. Morocco reached on a base on balls in the first inning.
Got a 2.69. And scouts from several of the teams have showed interest in this young man and his baseball. As you said, he plays three different sports. He's a well-rounded athlete.
One and one. Two outs there. You see Oxenfeld. Strike two on the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Chris trying to break that trend that had developed in the first 2 innings. This one is hit to the shortstop. Long throw in time for the 3rd out. So Paul Hall with the strong arm.
Man, I tell you, what a nice stretch by Justin Burns to ensure that out.
So for the first time in the ball game, the Warriors go down in order. 1, 2, 3. And we have played 3 complete now. And our score remains 2-2 in the battle for first place in the Peninsula District. Andy Lee will continue to be the pitcher for the Warriors. I mentioned Andy's drawn a lot of attention. Played on the Virginia Commonwealth team this past summer. Has shown some interest in the VCU program up in Richmond. Due up for the Bruins, Oxenfeld, the pitcher.
you got him right?
Hey, I don't know. I'll tell you as we go here. Mike Revere and Justin Burns. To that point, I was okay. After that's when I fell apart.
Well, Chris Oxenfeld, Tim, is batting .467. I mean, he's no slouch at the. I mean, he pitches a mean ball, but he also hits it. Wields a strong bat.
Prior to the two-run blast by Revere, Oxenfeld was the RBI leader on the team with 11. Batting from the left side of the plate. We are set to go here in the top half of the fourth inning. Looks at the first pitch outside. 2 runs and 2 hits for the Bruins. 2 runs and 3 hits for the Kecoughtan Warriors. And these statistics are truly unofficial. 1-1 to Oxenfeld.
I tell you, when a pitcher pitches against another pitcher that's batting, there's a little bit of, I want to really make you reach for it. I make you look bad.
And Andy Lee found the corner with that pitch. A ball and 2 strikes. Oxenfeld gets underneath this one, but hits it deep to center field.
Oh, man, that's
way
gone.
back
That's
and gone. He got under that ball, but he got all of it. So Oxenfeld heard me talking about Revere having taken over the RBI leadership and said, "No way, Jose." And he smacked that one over the fence in right center field. Giving his team now the lead.
A lot of people thought we was going to see some pitchers duels, Tim. We're seeing some good pitchers, but we're also seeing some fellas that can swing the bat right well. Both teams hit the ball well. And brings up number 16, Mike Revere. Now we got him in order over here.
We got him in order, boy. We're all set. First pitch from Lee is high and outside for a ball.
Well, Mike is batting .310 coming into this game. 10 RBIs before he got that home run with the runner on.
1-1 the count. Strike 2 call.
Pretty pitch.
So Lee is quickly ahead of the batter. And that one just a little outside or a little high.
I think it might have been a little high. It wasn't outside.
So to run the count to 2-2, but it was one of those pitcher's pitches. It could have been. Could have been, wasn't. This one is hit to right field. Right center field, I should say. The center fielder drifts over and makes the catch. That's Andy McKendry for the second out. Excuse me, the first out, rather.
And that brings up Justin Burns, first baseman. Let's see what Justin's doing
Justin reached on a base on balls in the first inning.
He's batting .231.
And he was caught stealing. I believe I said the center fielder caught it, but that was Balenchon who caught the ball, not the center fielder for Bethel. That would have been quite a feat.
You're like me. You forget to flip that thing over. Uh-oh.
Dyslexia is a terrible thing. That will probably go down as a base hit as a An excellent effort by Kevin Green to make the play, but he just couldn't come up with it. And Burns reaches first on the single, and that'll bring up
Brandon Hobeck.
Brandon Hobeck. That was my first mistake here.
That was only your first one.
Well, that's what threw me all out of order. See, Hobeck, I had at the toward the
I'm giving
end.
you a hard time over here. He's batting .310, Tim.
You're the one that gave me the wrong lineup.
Oh, okay. So, you had to mention that, huh?
Hobeck was a strikeout victim, I think. I shouldn't say that because he might not have been. Runner at first. And this one, base hit to left field. And that'll advance the runner to second. So Hobeck singles to left, and that puts runners at first and second now with one away.
Brings up Marty Harney.
Marty Harney, I'm back on cue now.
Marty batting .222 coming into this game. We're going to have, Buddy's going to have a little chat with Andy and settle him down a bit. And Boo says, well, okay, I'll talk to Marty. Maybe we'll get some strategy going here at the plate.
1 run in already, and 3 hits in the inning for the Bruins, as they have taken the lead 3-2.
How many's out?
1 out.
Ron Williams behind me, give me a hard time.
Well, I keep, it looks like the sun's trying to peek its
I know, it looks cool over here, but boy, out there it doesn't. I mean, you look straight dead center, man. Looks like they're getting a rainstorm over there, is what it looks like.
Harney takes the first pitch inside. Runners at first and second, 1 away. Two balls and no strikes. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz bringing you this battle between Kecoughtan and Bethel, found out of play. Kecoughtan 9-0, Bethel 8-1. If you're not familiar with these two teams, the only loss by the Bruins was at the hands of Kecoughtan. 2 balls and 1 strike here in the top of the 4th. 3-2 in favor of Bethel. They've taken the lead here in the 4th inning on a solo home run by pitcher Chris Oxenfeld. And now have runners at first and second. This one is popped up, and this will go out of play behind us here.
we got a crowd is moving.
Pretty good crowd on hand.
Yeah, nice crowd.
For a baseball game. You don't get a lot of big crowds, but when you have this kind of marquee matchup, you do.
Well, and with the 4 o'clock, a lot of the parents and people aren't off of work yet when you get started.
Swing and a miss. For the second out of the inning. And now this will bring up
Andy McKendry. Oh, you still looking for it, right?
Oh, I'm in there now.
Okay.
Mr. McKendry.
Batting .355 coming into this game, Tim.
2 outs. Runners at first and second.
4 RBIs, so he's looking to pad that if he can. Nice hit here would drive in 1.
Allen's down the middle. 1-1 the count. Big play in this ball game won't really show up as such in the score column, but a fine running catch in the first inning by Alfred Terrell to kill the rally of these Warriors. Could have been a big, big inning.
Well, they had the bases loaded, and you know they were running because it was 2 out. And as you said, they would have gotten a minimum of 2 and possibly 3 runs, because if that ball had gotten by Alfred, the center fielder was not directly behind him.
Ball and 2 strikes. Lee with no call on that one. That was a ball.
Well, that was a little inside. I think it's where he called it or low, but that was an excellent pitch.
That ball broke about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, I thought Andy was going for it. It's one of these things that says, oh, good eye.
In the dirt, and the ball gets away from the catcher, and the runners will move up. So Richie Clark is unable to come up with that ball. It was in the dirt, a tough play. 2 away, runners at second and third now. Here in the top of the 4th inning, so the Bruins trying to add to their 1-run lead. McKendry takes, and that's all strike 3.
Right on the corner. We're going to have a...
We will return to Kecoughtan for the continuation of this game between Bethel and Kecoughtan right after this brief timeout. All right, as we move to the bottom half of the 4th inning, the Kecoughtan Warriors trailing by a run. And a big strikeout to end the top half of the 4th inning and prevent further problems for Andy Lee. The batter, Kevin Green. He is the second baseman.
This is his first year starter, Tim. He really works hard on his game and really makes him strong up the middle. He's a much better hitter. He's batting force. Well, I'm going to give it to him 417 because that looks like it's a 7. Our Minograph sheet didn't come out.
Just off the plate. And a call strike.
But he said when the players started coming out for tryouts and everything, he said, if you don't have a 3.0, don't come out. I said, I've never heard that before.
Just off the plate, and a walk is issued to Kevin Green. And that'll bring up Ricky Wall. He is the third baseman, struck out in the second.
The coach is really impressed with him. He seems to come up with the big plays at third base and has got some crucial hits during the season. He had a home run against Gloucester that was a very big play.
So Kevin Green advances to second.
Smart base running that time. He started to go down, and as the ball was thrown to first, he continued, and he got down there.
So now Ricky Wall has a runner in scoring position. Oxenfeld gets him to foul it out of play. Warriors down by a run. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Oxenfeld in the dirt. Good job by the catcher Revere to keep that ball in front of him and not allow the runner to advance. Excellent job by the man behind the plate. Toughest job in baseball.
Yes, it is.
Well, second toughest. The umpiring is the first toughest. I learned that in 1 year of Little League. Hit to dead center field, and the center fielder chose not to come in on the ball. I think he might have been able to make a play in retrospect.
Yeah, I think he might have been able to, but
I think he thought the ball was hit softer than it was.
Yeah.
It hung up there a little longer than I think he thought it might.
Well, once he stopped and to play the bounce, there was no way he could have moved forward then and caught it. It was definitely going to drop in front of him, but he's kept the base runner from advancing, which gives you runners at the corners now.
So Green is at third and Wall at first with the single, and that brings up the 9th batter, Chuck Payne. Left fielder. He squares around, shows bunt, but pulls it back and takes a ball.
This is his first year as a starter for this team. He's a good athlete, runs real well, got a 3.05 GPA.
Takes ball 2. You know, in fairness, too, we do not have the Bruin GPA totals.
No.
And this is not to indicate by any means that theirs couldn't and shouldn't and aren't just as well. But we don't have them, and we apologize for not being able to share the information. And strike call to Payne. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
He got that right on the corner, Tim. That was an excellent pitch.
The other 2 pitches prior to that were just off the corner.
Yeah.
Oxenfeld being careful with this young man. Does not want to have the runners advance. This one is fouled out of play. Evens the count at 2-2. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Kecoughtan with runners at 1st and 3rd. 2-2, the count to the batter, Chuck Payne. And the throw over to first, the runner's back easily.
That wasn't his best move. That was a move just to let him know I have a move.
There you go. That's one to say, I know you're there. This one in the dirt, quickly gets back to the catcher, and he doesn't really have a chance, although he might have been able to throw him out at second. Didn't want to run the risk of the man from third coming in. Now, that would be scored, I would imagine, as a wild pitch.
That was down in the dirt, Tim.
But this backstop so close to the catcher, it careened off of there and came right back to the catcher very quickly.
It was like he didn't hardly miss it.
Hit to the right side, it's a long, and it's fair ball.
The 2 runs are going to score.
And Chuck Payne has hit a perfect triple down the right field line.
Well, he went with that pitch, Tim. That was on the outside corner, and he just took it right down that right field line.
That ball hit about 2 feet inside the fair line. And then because of the action of the ball, as you watch some of the replay here, you can see what happened is that ball just bounced wickedly past the right fielder, and you can see him there chasing the ball down. That is Hobeck, but all he could do at that point was just try and catch up with it.
That's right.
And by then, 2 runs had crossed the plate, and standing on third with a stand-up triple is Chuck Payne. And that'll bring up the leadoff batter, Ricardo Melenchon. He is 1 for 2. Strike called by Oxenfeld. Runner on third. And still nobody out here for the Warriors as they have regained the lead. Or I should say, taken the lead for the first time.
Yeah.
Foul tip on the bunt attempt. Warriors had not led. They had trailed 2-0, then made it 2-1, then made it 2-2, and then fell behind 3-2, and now have taken the lead 4-3. This one popped up. Tough chance for the second baseman, and he cannot come up with it. Ball gets away from him. However, in anticipation of his catching the ball, the runner at third is unable to move up. I'd have to score that a single. That was a tough chance.
Man, I tell you, you're running one way and you're trying to catch the ball over your shoulder, and that would have been a tough catch. It would have been an excellent catch had he come up with it.
So now the Warriors again with runners at the corners, and the batter is John Hatt. He is 1 for 2 as well, single and a strikeout.
John is batting .286. He's not decided where he wants to go to college. He has played some first base, and he usually moves the ball well.
Hatt hits the ball to center, or left center as the case may be, and tagging up and coming in to score is Chuck Payne. So the sacrifice fly by Hatt scores the third run of the inning. And now the Warriors lead 5-3. This will bring up Robert Arredondo, who is 0 for 2. Check that, 1 for 2 rather. Had a single in the first inning and flied out in the second. Runner is moving, and it's fouled away, so Belenchon rather, will have to go back. Get a chance to watch the replay. Here is the sacrifice fly by Hatt. Just deep enough for Payne to score, and did so pretty easily. So there's a runner at first and 1 away. Oxenfeld with a check the runner move. And the sun has broken out, Bob.
Hey. And it is warming us up a bit.
About noontime today, it was raining rather hard in Newport News, and
it rained some up here right after you called me. It started raining, but it was just a kind of a sprinkle. Wasn't hard, but it was a steady thing for about a half an hour, but then it just dried up.
Here you see the shot from our right field camera, the newest addition to our coverage. It's tough these afternoon games, trying to get everybody over here and get them here on time.
Yeah.
The Channel 5 crew, as always, doing their best to bring you the best in high school sports coverage on the peninsula. Scotty Bauer is our director today. Oxenfeld with kind of an interesting move that time.
Yeah,
some of the fans were calling for a balk, and
it was a little different.
Looked like he was not sure about whether he was going to go to first or not, and then came home with it. Swing and a miss for strike 2 on Arredondo. 1 away here. 3 runs across the plate for the Warriors. 2-2 the count. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Kecoughtan has taken the lead with a 3-run rally. Oxenfeld delivers. This is popped up, and it appears it will go out of play, and it does.
And the first base runner was moving on the pitch. It looked like a hit and run. These coaches keep you guessing. They're not just satisfied with the 1-run or 2-run lead. See if we can't pick up some more.
Arredondo, quoted by his coach, is very solid in all phases of the game.
Well, Timmy's batting .400. That's pretty good. But I can remember when he first came on the Warrior team, he was doing real well and broke a leg, and they're with high on him then.
Hit to the right side of the infield. Second baseman over to first for the second out of the inning.
And if the runner hadn't been going, that'd have been a double play.
So 2 away now, and this will bring up the pitcher, Andy Lee. Andy had a double in the first inning to help his own cause, and struck out in the third.
Oh, Andy is batting .346.
Fouls this one back out of play. Runner at second, 2 out. And Belenchon is going. Catcher comes up with it quickly, but a good effort on the part of Belenchon to get down there. He was down there and got a good jump off the pitcher.
Man, he is quick. That young man wants to be a dentist. If he pulls teeth as quick as he runs, you won't even feel the pain.
Foul tip held on to for strike 2. So the good speed of Belenchon has gotten him in a scoring position here with 2 away. And Lee would like nothing better to help his own cause than to single this young man in. And he hits it on the right side. This is going to be a tough chance for the first baseman, but a good play by Justin Burns to make the out. So the Warriors are out of the inning, but not before they score 3 runs on a triple by Chuck Payne. He scored 2 RBIs himself and then came in on the single by Balenchon. And in the inning, the Warriors take the lead 5-3 after 4 complete innings. Six hits so far unofficially in the ball game. I thought I saw Kaz on the screen there. I wasn't sure if that is who I thought it was. It's hard to see our screen now, but oh, the umpires. Okay, I couldn't make out the images very well. The sun is blinding me. I didn't think I'd get a chance to see that today.
Not today.
Here you see some of the action from the previous inning. Not sure what that was exactly. In any event, we move to the top of the 5th inning for the Bethel Bruins, who find themselves now trailing by 2 runs. They will have Brandon Ward as the leadoff batter.
Brandon is your third baseman.
Seesaw battle. The Bruins took the lead in the first inning on a 2-run home run by Mike Revere. Kecoughtan battled back, made it 2-1, then eventually made it 2-2. Then Oxenfeld made it 3-2 with a blast to center field over the fence. And now a 3-run inning for the Warriors have given them the lead 5-3. So the pitching duel of the ERA champs of the Peninsula did not materialize this afternoon. But it's been a very interesting ball game in every other respect.
Well, it's the fans, I'm sure, are enjoying it. Just looking at Bouchard's record, Tim, as a varsity coach, he started coaching in '75 for 19 years. 208 wins, 151 losses, 60% winning. That's not bad in anybody's book. He's been a total of 24 years over at Bethel. He coached 5 years as a JV coach and was 52-13. That's not bad.
Not bad.
83%.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
A couple things they had to do with Bethel. They redid their infield and had to put in some new dugouts. And if you remember when that tornado went through here, you going down in and one of the dugouts was missing. I mean, they just took it out, and I don't know what had happened to it.
Jammed Ward that time with a pitch. Fouled it off. 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Brandon Ward goes down swinging. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Alfred Terrell. And again, I can't emphasize too much what the catch he made in the first inning when Oxenfeld had loaded the bases, and a liner that was sinking rapidly was caught nicely by Terrell and kept Bethel ahead at the time. Terrell is 0 for 2 this afternoon, and he takes the first pitch high for a ball. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz were bringing you this game from Kecoughtan High School this afternoon. Battle for first place.
Well, Alfred, if he gets on, is always a threat to run, and that was one of the things that Boo had talked about, and we were glad to get him back in the lineup, but you got to get him on base.
Two balls and 1 strike, the count. Foul back, evens the count, 2-2. So far, 3 of the Hampton City schools doing extremely well in the standings, as Kecoughtan and Bethel battling for 1 and 2, and then Hampton is right up there as well with a 6 and 3 record.
I think they're about 4th place right now.
Swing and a miss. So Terrell goes down swinging for the 2nd out of the inning.
Brings up your shortstop, Paul Hall.
8 Ks unofficially for Andy Lee here so far. Paul Hall, who singled in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd, 1 for 2 this afternoon.
Tim, he's a sophomore, and he's the only non-senior starter on this team.
Foul back. Well, you talk about coaches, and Bouchard certainly with an excellent record there, but Buddy Denton over here had so many players graduate last year. Brett Wheeler moved on, Macy Brooks, David Denton, and on and on and on. It just didn't look like Kecoughtan was going to be able to field the type of team that would be undefeated at this point.
Yeah, and you know, he was as surprised at the record as anybody. I mean, he knew he had a decent team coming back, but he had no idea that he would be undefeated through the first, the first plane of you play everybody twice, you play everybody, and you beat them all.
Kevin Green, one of the young players that he's been very pleased with his success so far. A little bit low. So Paul Hall with 2 outs here in the 5th. Hanging tough. Andy Lee settling down. And that's ball 4. So Paul Hall will keep the inning alive for the Bruins, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Chris Oxenfeld. And Oxenfeld with a home run over dead center back in the 4th inning.
He's batting .467, so.
At the time, had given his team a 1-run lead that he would ultimately surrender in the bottom half of that inning. Runner on first, and the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. I'll tell you one thing, you're not going to get much time to snooze out here. Both of these pitchers work very rapidly.
They do.
And that was a swinging strike, 0-2 the count.
Chris tried to hold up on that, but
thought the ball was going to break away from him, and it didn't. In fact, it almost hit the inside, or actually was inside off the plate, but Chris had already committed to it and couldn't hold back. 2-2 the count. Runner on first, 2 away. 5-3 in favor of Kecoughtan. See a good look at Oxenfeld from first line, and Oxenfeld
nice breaking ball, Tim.
Watches the 3rd strike call. So Andy Lee strikes out the side in the 5th. And we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning with Kecoughtan holding on to a 2-run lead by the score of 5-3. Richie Clark will be due up, followed by Rock Brown and Kevin Green. As we mentioned to you, we will have girls softball here on Channel 5. We'll be out at Asbury Park Monday afternoon between Bethel and Hampton, I believe it is, isn't it, Bob?
Bethel and Kecoughtan and Hampton.
Kecoughtan and Hampton. And we'll also have some other softball as well as other baseball games as the season progresses. And of course, we will be watching very closely for postseason action as we have in the past. Last year, we certainly enjoyed following Kecoughtan in the postseason. The year before, of course, the Warriors went all the way to the championship game in baseball, and we had the opportunity to travel up to Northern Virginia to do a game. That was a lot of fun, that game.
It really was.
Sitting
We
up on
enjoyed
top of
that.
that dugout and watching the lightning off in the distance and wondering if we were going to be crispy critters. That was I had a good time.
Well, I remember last year we went up to, with the girls softball from Bethel, played Verona.
Yes, we did. We went out there to that cow pasture and did that game. That was a wild affair, too. I still don't know how we got those pictures. All right, Richie Clark to start it off for Kecoughtan in the bottom of the 5th. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. He'll be followed by Rock Brown and Kevin Green.
Coach is real tickled with Richie. He's one of the senior captains. He's a second-year starter, but he does a great job of handling the pitchers. And if you have more than, and he's got a good arm, but your pitchers are so different. Like Rock Brown is probably more of an overpowering pitcher, throws different things, and then you got Andy Lee who has a great breaking stuff, and you have to be a versatile catcher behind that plate to handle all your different pitchers.
2 balls and 1 strike. Richie reached on an error in the first inning and popped out to the first baseman in the 3rd. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2-2. Bottom half of the 5th inning. They play 7 in high school ball. And he reaches for a bad pitch. Richie will not be happy with himself after swinging that pitch well out of the...
When he swung for it, he was going, and he knew, he kind of chased it, and he knew when he swung for it, that was not a good pitch to be swinging at.
So that brings up Rock Brown. Rocco walked in the first and grounded out rather. In the 3rd, he is 0 for 1. He fouls this one out of play.
Well, not only does Rock pitch a lot, but he moved to first base from the outfield because it looked like it was going to be a trouble spot this year for this team. And he just, he's also one of the captain, one of the leader, and he's a 4-year starter. Tell you something about this young man.
He also swings at a bad pitch and is just barely out. But a good play on the right side there, the first baseman to the pitcher covering. And Rock showed good speed going down there.
It looked like a small locomotive going down there, too.
Yeah, that was a real good play mechanics-wise. You saw that Oxenfeld got over there to cover first and helped beat the speedy runner. But, that goes back to the fact that the good teams don't just throw and pitch and catch and hit. They do all the other small things, if you will, that make a team successful.
Yes, they do. And those are the little fundamental, the little things that you...
We'll get a chance to...
See that
replay.
And you notice that Chris will get out of the way real quick.
As the freight train Brown was bearing down on him. Kevin Green, the batter, with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th. And the breaking ball outside in the dirt. Ball low.
The crowd is getting bigger and bigger, Tim.
As more people get off of work. About 5:25 here on a cool and cloudy Friday afternoon. This game videotaped on the 22nd of April, 1994. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz, Channel 5, bringing you the best in high school coverage of sports. Basketball, baseball, football, softball, soccer. Did we leave anything out?
I don't think so. I think you covered all-star games. One of the things they're going to have an all-star contest this year? Volleyball.
Oh, my favorite sport. The batter is number 8, Ricky Wall.
And from what I understand, the Kecoughtan girls will have a field hockey team next year. Be the first team in the Hampton school systems to have a field hockey team. So they're kind of looking forward to that next year.
Ball 1 of 2 on the afternoon, struck out and singled in the 4th. Gets this one to the right side. Second baseman up with the ball over to first for the out to retire the side. Volleyball, huh? All-star volleyball. See,
yeah,
that's...
I did a program with Mike Smith because, of course, that's coming up in July, and we always enjoy it, and it's really been a godsend for the peninsula as far as bringing in some people in July for the businesses and all, and it's a week-long thing. And I was talking to him. I said, well, you got the football and the two basketball games, and the girls softball and the baseball. And he said, yeah, and we're also going to have volleyball this year. And I just had no idea that a lot of the schools in the northern and the western part of the state play volleyball. We don't have a competitive league in the Peninsula District as yet, but I was very surprised about that.
Back in my youth, volleyball was my true love of the different sports that I've enjoyed playing over the years, and used to play volleyball rather avidly. I don't know whether I played well or not, but I played with a lot of enthusiasm. Used to have a great time back in the late 70s and early 80s. I played a lot of rec volleyball. It's an excellent sport, and a lot of people think volleyball is kind of a easy, soft sport and everything. It's like you bat around a little ball, and I'm telling you something, that is one very rigorous sport.
And you better know what's going on, because you just don't try to hit it over the net each time. You try to make sure the other team can't get it back over the net.
Top half of the 6th inning, we'll find the Bruins, Mike Revere, a first batter, followed by Justin Burns.
6'2", 185-pounder behind the plate for the Bruins. Does a good job of blocking the balls that are down in the dirt.
He's done an excellent job this afternoon, and this time hits the ball right where he hit the first home run, and it is out of here.
Man, that thing jumped off his bat, Tim.
Mike Revere with 2 home runs on the afternoon, and both of them almost in the identical spot. 5-4 now is your score. Mike Revere with 2 blasts on the afternoon, and both of those almost in the exact same spot. There you saw the real nice looking form, and Revere just belted that one right out of the park.
Tim, that thing jumped. I tell you, I mean, when it hit, it's gone. I mean, there was just no doubt. There was nobody's going to catch that one. Buddy's going to talk to Andy, try to settle him down a little bit.
Andy Lee now has given up home runs to Revere as well as Oxenfeld. 2 to Revere and 1 to Oxenfeld.
Well, Revere says, I want that, maintain my RBI lead.
That's right. He went back and got it. And it makes the game, on a more important note, makes the game a 1-run contest now, 5-4. We're in the 6th inning, getting down to crunch time. The batter will be number 5, Justin Burns, who reached on a base on balls and a single. So he is 1 of 1 on the afternoon.
Timothy, I brought me a jacket.
Yeah, that breeze has started picking up again. This one is fouled back out of play. Not far from that black cougar that's parked over there.
I told you, you parked. You're living dangerously.
Oh, I like to live on the edge, Bob.
But does your car enjoy you living on the edge?
I have a ding in the roof from another time I lived on the edge not long ago. Swing and a miss. So quickly ahead on the batter. 0-2 the count.
Justin is 5'11", 180, the first baseman. Sometimes he will be the DH when Skip Bouchard uses a DH.
Neither team has made that election this afternoon. And strike called. So Justin Burns looks at a 3rd strike, a call he wasn't particularly enamored with. And that'll bring up number 19, Brandon Hobeck.
6'3", 195-pounder. Good size lad.
One out, one run across. Fouled back out of play. Let's just take a look at statistics for Mr. Hobeck here, as provided by his coach, Bouchard.
Oh, nice breaking ball. Whoa.
.310 a batting average. And Hobeck has 1 home run on the season.
Well, he's got 10 RBIs, Tim, so he's right up there among the leaders.
No question about that. Hobeck has 2 doubles. Check that, 3 doubles on the season. He waits on this one, and this might be out of here too.
That's gone.
It is a home run. So 2 home runs in the inning, and we've got a tie ball game. The Bruins have brought the power to the plate this afternoon. Team has hit 4 dingers. So I guess that's the announcer's kiss they were looking for. I said he had 1. Now he has 2. Here you go. Here's the replay. And that ball is still rolling. Got some kids going out there after that, but I tell you, they have really knocked the cover off of that ball this afternoon. So just 1 out, and this brings up Marty Harney.
I like that name, Marty Harney. It flows. Know his dad right well.
Harney takes the first pitch inside for a ball.
I did a little program over Bethel, talked to some of the baseball players, and I told Marty, I said, Marty, I know your dad. And one of the other players says, everybody knows his dad.
So Harney connects, and it reaches on the single. Yeah, that'll bring up.
Excuse me, they got one of the fans over there yelling at Joe Harney. Said, you know who that is?
So McKendry will be the batter. And the Bruins hitting very well here in the 6th inning off of Andy Lee. He might be getting a little tired. 2 home runs in the inning for the Bruins, and a single. Only 1 out. We're tied at 5. This one is hit to center field. Balenchon underneath it and makes the catch.
Well, we're going to have a pinch hitter here. This is Sim Haley, number 7, Tim. Now, Sim's had a daddy that played football at Bethel when I was over there, also by the name of Sim Haley. He's batting .333. He's a junior. Who's he batting for?
He would be batting for heavens only knows at this point. He is batting for Brandon Ward.
Okay.
This was the part of the lineup sheet that I messed up, see.
Okay, I noticed it's got a lot of lines.
Oh, no, I figured it out now. Now that I figured it out, they bring in a pinch hitter, see. So Mr. Haley takes strike 1 from the left-handed Andy Lee. Runner at first, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. This one is hit sharply at the second baseman. He bobbles it, but gets it in time for the out at second base.
Well,
so a good play.
Did a great job of staying in front of the ball, Tim, and that was the whole key to get that out.
So the second baseman, Kevin Green, did not give up on the play, and it paid off as he eventually was able to get the runner at second to end the inning. But not before the Bruins were able to get 3 hits and 2 runs and tie this ball game at 5-all as we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It has been a slugfest this afternoon. Get a chance to look at the home run.
One of the 2 that was last inning.
And I mean, those were not just barely, those were out of here type home runs. There was no question about them. So,
well, Bouchard said that his team at the first part of the season were hitting And, you know, as a team, about 340. And he says, then we dropped about 40 points. And he says, because they've won the last 3 or 4 games, they've only won by 1 run and have been tight contests. And I said, how do you feel about it? And he said, well, we're not hitting the ball. And he says, I don't know that if the pitching is getting better or we just kind of slacked off. But I'll tell you, they brought the guns today. They're hitting the fool out of the ball.
Leadoff batter for the Warriors will be Chuck Payne, and then he'll be followed by the top of the order. Balencian and Hatt are the batters due up here in the bottom half of the 6th. 5-5 is our score. Unofficially, 6 hits for 5 runs for Kecoughtan. And the Bruins now have 8 hits for 5 runs. Unofficially.
If you can make it all out, Tim, you've done all right. I thought we were playing tic-tac-toe there for a minute.
I'm telling you. So Payne, who had a triple and 2 RBIs in the 4th inning and struck out in the 2nd. He is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. One ball and no strikes to the batter. Payne takes strike 1.
Well, Buddy's got a good mixture of underclassmen. He's got 5 juniors on his team.
Reached for the ball outside and couldn't get to it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, you know, talking about baseball, it's been fun watching some of the early Major League Baseball this year, too. And strike 3 called. Of course, if you're an Orioles fan, that they've done well, and Atlanta has been awesome.
They've been something else. And it seems like all the teams are hitting the ball well this year.
Oxenfeld, and the pitch is fouled back. Looked like Balencian was thinking about bunting the ball.
Well, he was going to, and then he's trying to pull back on it, Tim, but the ball broke in on him, and he couldn't get away from it, so I think he basically bunted it in self-defense.
That would be an appropriate way to describe that. Pitch is outside for a ball. 1-1. 1 away here in the bottom half of the 6th. Tie ball game at 5. Battle for first place. Swing and a miss. Kecoughtan with a victory will be the only undefeated team. Should they lose to Bethel, then it would be a tie for first place with identical 8-1 records. 9-1 records, excuse me. That one in the dirt off of the leg of the catcher, Mike Revere. Again, toughest job in baseball.
Well, I tell you, and the way that ball breaks, I mean, he's got a wicked curve that goes right into the dirt.
This one is hit to center field.
A little short.
McKendry is there to make the grab. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th, and it'll bring up the right fielder, John Hatt. Had a sacrifice fly in the 4th, struck out in the 1st, and had a double in the 2nd. He is 1 for 2 on the afternoon.
Well, he's doing a good job for these Warriors no matter where he plays. He has played some at first base earlier in the season. He moves the ball well, runs well. He's undecided what college he's going to go to. But this is his first year as a starter, but doing a good job for the Warriors.
He comes up with 2 away here in the 6th.
Batting .286.
All 1. Oxenfeld working extremely quick. Even a count at 1-1.
Both of these pitchers work fast.
I mean, there's just no time between pitches. We're about an hour and perhaps 50 minutes into this game. Hit to the right side for a base hit. So John Hatt has 2 hits on the afternoon. And he keeps the inning alive for Robert Arredondo. Arredondo is due. He is 0 for 3. Check that. Timeout. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Had a single in the first and scored in that inning. Flied out and grounded out. 2 away here in the 6th. And as I mentioned earlier, don't want to be a jinx for Mr. Oxenfeld, but he has had his troubles with 2 outs. First and second inning, both occasions gave up runs after he had struck out the first 2 batters in each inning. Good looking pitch right down the middle.
Excellent looking pitch.
So Arredondo behind the count. Runner is going. And the throw gets away from the second baseman covering. It's going to be advancing the runner to third with the go-ahead run at third now. And that hard breaking pitch has been trouble all afternoon for Mike Revere to dig out of the dirt.
Sure has.
That time the runner was going Hatt, and the throw to second got away from the man covering and all the way to third base. So now the go-ahead run in scoring position. Ball is beaten on the ground. Shortstop, long throw to first, in time. And Skip Bouchard.
Boy, Bouchard will run out. What a throw from the shortstop. Oh, goodness.
Bouchard ran out to congratulate the shortstop on the play. I mean, he was out of there like the game was over.
Well, that's Paul Hall, the sophomore, the only non-senior on this as a starter for the Bruins. But, man, if he hadn't got him out, there was definitely a run going to score.
Arredondo, in an effort to cut down the running time, dove head first into the bag. And again, there's a lot of dispute amongst baseball aficionados, who I do not count myself as one, but they all argue vehemently about diving to first base, since you in fact can run through the bag. A lot of people who've been around baseball for a lot longer than I have think that it's not the right move to dive, that in fact you slow down by diving.
You lose something in diving for it. And
now, I'm not disputing that he did the right or wrong thing there. I'm just saying that is an ongoing argument amongst a lot of baseball fans, that of course with the fact that you can run through the bag, unlike second and third, of course, that you in fact do cut down. But the pros do it, the college players do it, and of course every once in a while you'll see the high school players try to do it and to get that just that extra edge. And I'm telling you, that was a bang play, because he got him by half a step.
And the official did not hesitate. I mean, he was making the call.
So we move to the 7th inning. Kind of like overtime now. A tie ball game at 5. Leading off, top of the order for the Bruins, Alfred Terrell. This one is popped up out of play behind home plate. We hope you're enjoying this coverage on Channel 5, the game between the Bruins and the Warriors. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz. Andy Lee with 9 strikeouts on the afternoon. This one's fouled back, so Terrell is behind on the count. Good crowd on hand for this this contest. Should be crowds like this for all the high school baseball games. They just don't get the crowd support that the fall and winter sports do. Foul back. So Terrell hanging tough. He is due. He is 0 for 3 on the afternoon. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Batting .333 coming into the game, so you know you're not going to keep him down very long. Pitch is outside. Strike 3 right down the middle.
I tell you, that's a nice looking pitch.
That fooled him. That ball looked like it might be a breaking ball, but it did not break. It stayed right in the middle of the plate. And I'll bring up Paul Hall, number 3.
Made a great throw from deep in the hole on shortstop to end that last inning.
Hall singled in the first and scored. He scored on Mike Revere's home run. Struck out in the third and reached on a base on balls in the fifth. So he is 1 of 2 on the afternoon. That's from the left side of the plate. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1 away in the top of the 7th. 5 all. We've seen a little bit of everything this afternoon.
Well, we have, haven't we? I mean, this has been a game where if you wanted variety, you would have got it. You're not seeing a pitcher's duel as some people thought we would see.
Crowd didn't like that call.
Yeah, a little eye and outside. But you're in a very pro Kecoughtan crowd.
That's a strike call.
Paul was taken all the way on that one.
This is the last inning of regulation. Foul ball down the first base line, just foul.
We know you're awake now.
Temperature seems to have dropped a good 10 degrees in the
That's
last
why I put my
half
coat
hour.
on.
So, yeah. I thought I could put this sweater away for the season, but
Well, I had to bring mine out. Somebody I was talking to earlier today said it was a quick summer we had.
It was warmer during the early part of the week, but boy, has it gone downhill today.
We're supposed to get into the 40s tonight.
Yeah,
so.
I'll have a fire in the fireplace. And that's ball 4. So Paul Hall works.
That's his second
for
one,
a
isn't it?
walk.
That's his second walk?
Yep, as a matter of fact, second consecutive walk. He walked to the 5th, and now brings up the big man.
Well, he's had 9 base on balls coming into this game.
Yep, obviously he was team leader on base on balls, so he knows how to use that good eye, and he'll move to second on the wild pitch by Andy Lee.
We got.
And I say it's a wild pitch. That's how I would score it since it was in the dirt. Certainly through no lack of effort on the part of
Richie Clark, yeah.
Richie Clark is right. So now the Bruins have got a runner in scoring position with just 1 out here in the 7th. And Oxenfeld, who carries a hefty .467 batting average at the plate. He's already got 1 home run.
He'd like to help his cause right here.
He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. And this one is hit sharply to center field, and the catch made, and a quick effort to get the double play at second almost worked. Balenchon with a nice play in center field.
Tim, that ball was really dropping fast.
Almost doubled him up at second.
He wouldn't see nothing good today. Open base. Open base.
And this will bring up Mike Revere, the catcher.
He's had a couple good shots today.
And he's going to get a free pass.
Well, you got an open base.
They're not even going to mess with him this time. Here's the replay of the fine grab in right center field by Balenchon. So Mike Revere will get the free ticket.
That brings up Burns, Justin.
Justin Burns, that's right. He has a single in 3 at-bats. Walked, singled, and struck out. So he is officially 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Runners at first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. This is the last inning of regulation play. Of course, the Warriors, the home team, will get the last at-bats. This one fouled down the first baseline, out of play.
And that catcher called for that ball to be outside, Tim, and it was inside.
Yeah, they kind of jammed him. That's how he...
That's why he fouled it off there, because it was in on his wrist. But the way the catcher set up outside the plate is what I was looking for, the ball. So was he.
It's hit to right field, and a running catch for the 3rd out. John Hatt with the grab. So the Warriors dodge the bullet as the Bruins strand 2 runners.
Well, I tell you, there was 2 excellent catches, one by the center fielder and one by the right fielder.
The good defense comes through for the Warriors as they leave, the Bruins strand 2. And now we've played 6.5 innings, and it's still 5-5. And the home team, the Warriors, will have the last at-bats here in regulation time. Andy Lee will be the scheduled leadoff batter. Richie Clark and Morocco Brown. Here you see the replay of the nice grab by the right fielder to end the top of the 7th.
John Hatch did a great job on that.
We'll return to Kecoughtan High School for the final half of the inning after this brief timeout.
Come on, Andy, get us going now. Come on.
Bottom half of the 7th inning now. The leadoff batter is the pitcher, Andy Lee. Allowed 5 runs on 8 hits this afternoon and has registered 9 strikeouts. His counterpart, Oxenfeld, winds and delivers. Ball low. He has 7 strikeouts.
That's a strike, Tim.
Strike? Whoops, I'm sorry. I thought he said low.
Oh, he said 1. Was that on the corner? That's where he's called that pitch all day.
This one is high and outside, 1-1. So the Warriors, their last chance in regulation to win this game. This is the final regular inning. And a base hit to center field. Andy Lee makes the turn and then decides wisely to hold up as a good play by the center fielder to get that ball in.
And the runner now for the pitcher is number 11, Keith Parr. Tim, this kid's got a 3.45 GPA. He runs for the pitcher and coaches first base. And he's a senior in reserve, and the coach has got great attitude about his role on this team. So he is now the runner on first base for Andy Lee.
And the batter is Richie Clark, the catcher. On the afternoon, Richie is 0 for 3. This is popped up and out of play as it ends up on the netting above home plate. Trying to advance the runner. Warriors need 1 run to win it. Clark hits it to the second baseman. Tough chance. He tags the runner and over to first. Safe at first. So they get the lead runner. That was the important part of that. That Clark is safe barely safe at first base.
Well, if you see the and of course this is hindsight, but if you're the base runner and you saw the guy going to tag you, if you stop, then you know he's got to go tag you. The guy on first is going to be safe. So now we're going to get another pitch run. Same guy going to. There you go. Parr's going to get a lot of action. He got thrown out or got tagged out. And he goes back and he's going to run again.
Now, the fans that aren't familiar with these rules, of course, are in high school. You can substitute for both the pitcher and the catcher. They can be substitute in the field for as far as runners are concerned, and then they re-enter the game. This brings up Rock Brown with 1 out and the runner at first. Rock Dew on the afternoon walked and has grounded out twice. He's 0 for 2. A little bit low and inside.
That's a tough pitch to not to swing at. You know that?
Well, with the left-hander, the ball comes across the plate from that left side, and it is tough, but that ball just missed the corner and was a little low. This one is hit to center field, deep to center field, but playable for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Kevin Green, number 7, the second baseman for the Warriors. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, Tim, he's got the biggest numbers of the batting average. So if you got a guy you want that maybe could bring that runner in, as we see this that second out.
Runner is going. The ball is foul tipped out of play, so the runner will go back. That runner, as you mentioned earlier, is Mr. Parr. Keith Parr. Swing and a miss. For strike 2. This is a base hit. Had to wait and see if it was going to drop in. Parr will try to get to third, and he is safe for third.
The throw was just a little off the base. Had it been on the base, they would have got the runner. Nice throw from the deep right field, but not in time, or the accuracy was lacking.
Just a little off the mark. Had that ball been right there, which would have been a spectacular throw had it been that way, he might have gotten him, but just a little off. We'll get a chance to watch this again. You see Kevin Green hitting it to the right side. And there's the play at third. And just off the mark was the throw, and allowing Parr to slide into third with the winning run now sitting at third base. And the batter, Ricky Wall. Singled in the 4th, struck out and grounded out.
A little over 2 hours. It's been a very quick game.
Swing and a foul tip held on to by the catcher. Strike 2. So Oxenfeld now with runners at the corners. And the winning run at third base. Runner is going, and a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Oxenfeld reached back and found that strikeout pitch and retires the side.
And we go extra innings.
As rightly it should. The battle for first place should be so close.
That's right.
So we will move to the extra innings.
Pretty soon I'm going to zip the coat up.
Bring out the long woolies. I'm looking for snow flurries here in a minute. We're going to have a pitching change as Rock Brown now is going to come in and throw for the Warriors. And we'll give you his statistics, which are very impressive. 1.7 ERA for Rock. And he is 4-0 on the season. He's got 36 strikeouts in 30 innings. So anytime you have more strikeouts than you have innings, you're doing a good job.
Yes, you are.
And a 1.7 ERA is good by anyone's standards.
Well, and he moved Andy Lee over to first base where Rock was playing. So I don't think they've any other changes other than that.
Tell you, a hot coffee concession out here this afternoon would make a lot of money. I'm surprised the Kecoughtan cheerleaders and those guys that are always trying to raise money for the band and everything, surprised they aren't out here selling coffee this afternoon.
This would have been a good day to sell something out here. A nice crowd.
Maybe a little toddy or something.
Oh, some hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate would be good. Well, the Bruins will have Hobeck, who homered in the 6th inning, and he'll be followed by Harney and McKendry. So Rock Brown has replaced Andy Lee. And an interesting thing happened earlier in the week, which I hadn't stopped to realize, not watching as much high school ball as I might, that a pitcher in high school ball can come out
and come back in
and pitch again.
Yeah.
Of course, I guess they could probably do that in the major leagues. It's just that they're so exclusively pitchers that they would not come out of the game and go to another position.
That's right.
To allow themselves to re-enter as a pitcher. In any event, Mr. Hoback steps to the plate. He has 2 hits on the afternoon, including, as I mentioned, a home run in the 6th inning.
We got a little problem down there in the...
He got a ball that got loose, I think.
That's what it was. Something was over there. All right, now we're ready.
First pitch from Rock Brown is pounded to the second baseman over to first for the first out of the inning.
Marty Harney coming up.
One away in the top half of the 8th inning.
What did Marty do last time? Did he get a hit last time?
Yeah, he got a single last time. Takes the first pitch outside. Get a good look at Rock Brown, one of the members of the Brown family that has done so well athletically here at Kecoughtan High School.
Now Marty out.
And Marty beats out a single.
Yeah, ran just a little faster than the ball. It was a kind of a slow hit to that deep shortstop.
Yeah, that was a tough chance.
So it makes it a little harder to throw because it wasn't a crisp hit ball. Brings up Andy McKendry.
McKendry flied out to center field in the 6th inning. Bruins have a runner on first. Takes the first pitch low for a ball. Those of you that aren't familiar, started to mention the Brown family. Of course, Morocco, his older brother Milan, and his younger brother Marseille, who is a very important part of a highly successful Kecoughtan basketball team, Marseille Brown. And, of course, Rock was also on that successful team, too. His brother Milan previously played basketball.
Graduated this year in December from Howard University. And it helped the coach over here, Revis Conrad, during the season. Gave him a little help with his coaching, and I know the coaches appreciate that.
Runner on first, 1 out. Tie ball game. Top half of the 8th inning. 1-1 the count to the batter. Rock Brown throws over to first, back in time.
He's got a quick move.
For a right-hander, he really does. That was an excellent move. Let me also say that I think the umpires have done a real fine job this afternoon.
Yes, they have.
Tough game. Swing and a miss, but the ball gets away from Richie Clark. Ball was in the dirt, and the runner advances. Our umpires again this afternoon, Ronnie Martin behind the plate, and Gary Butler, the lone base umpire. That's a tough job when you got to be all over the field like that.
Yeah.
A ball and 2 strikes the count. McKendry is the batter. Bruins have moved a man into scoring position now.
But you know what makes these officials today so good, both these umpires, Tim, is you really are not aware of them. I mean, there hasn't been any controversial calls. They're very decisive when they make a call. There's no hesitation or anything, and I haven't heard a whole lot of getting on of, you know, how fans love to get on to, especially the one behind the plate, and there hasn't been that much.
Foul back.
Oh, boy, did I jump.
Made you flinch. Still a ball and 2 strikes. And I believe I've spotted some snow flurries out in right field. This one hit to the right side. It'll advance the runner to third. And the second out on the ground out. McKendry second to first. And that'll bring up
the third
Brandon
baseman.
Ward.
Yeah.
And again, he was pinch hit for, another one of the high school rules that differs from the pros.
Well,
he was pinch hit for, but he's allowed to come back in.
Yeah, that was Sim Haley came in and pinched in for him. Sim is a left-handed batter.
So 2 away, a runner on third now with the go-ahead run in position. Swing and a miss. Rock Brown throws the heat.
Powerful young man.
5 runs on 9 hits for the Bruins. 5 runs on 8 hits for the Warriors. And that is a base hit, and a run will score. So Brandon Ward gets the base hit just past the third baseman.
That was a shot down there. They call that the hot box, and that's one of the reasons why.
Second most difficult position to play. But that gives the Bruins a 1-run lead here in the top half of the 8th inning. And it brings up the top of the order, Alfred Terrell. Mr. Terrell has an 0 for 4 afternoon going, so he is overdue. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Terrell grounded out to start the ball game and then has struck out 3 consecutive times. Jammed him on that one, and the first baseman has a beat on it and makes the grab for the third out. But the Bruins do get a run to take the lead and put the pressure on the homestanding Kecoughtan Warriors as we move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Warriors will have due up Chuck Payne and then the top of the order. And that'll be Belenchon and Hatt. And Chris Oxenfeld will continue to be the pitcher for the Bruins. Of course, used to have some rules about the number of innings and everything you could pitch. They may still have, but it is not a minimum number of 7 that you have to come out, obviously, as Oxenfeld
Right.
will start the 8th here. I'm sure Skip Bouchard has told him, look, just concentrate, get that ball in the strike zone, give them nothing good to hit. This is only a team that's 9-0 on the season. So a tough job facing the Bruins here, as they'll try to pull out the victory and also try to tie Kecoughtan for first place. Chuck Payne will lead off. He had a triple and 2 RBIs back in the 4th inning. He is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Squares around, shows bunt, takes the pitch, and it's a call strike.
That gets right on that corner, and he has consistently called that pitch on that corner today.
This one's popped up, and it'll make the screen out of play. So now there's a couple of them up there. But quickly ahead of the batter is Oxenfeld, as Payne finds himself 0-2. Six to 5 in favor of the Bruins. And watching that one closely was Chuck Payne. He kind of leaned to take a look at that one. Those high pitches are so easy to swing at and so hard to lay off of.
That's right.
Outside again, so it's 2-2. Had my share of allergies this spring. I guess you probably have had some of that.
Like you go out there and it looks like somebody painted your car yellow.
Yep. Fouled away. Hanging tough is Chuck Payne. I don't remember the particular play exactly, but I do recall during our football coverage during the year that Mr. Payne inflicted some pain on some of his hits.
Boy, he did,
safety.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yep. Very talented young man, both baseball and football. Hits this one to deep left center field, and underneath it to make the grab. That was Andy McKendry for the first out of the inning. So the top of the order now.
Come with the top.
Ricardo Balanchon, who has 1 hit in 3 at-bats and walked 1 other time. Flat out in the 6th inning most recently. Takes the first pitch for a ball.
So he's 1 for 3 today?
1 for 3.
Well, that's his batting average, .333.
Oxenfeld working rapidly, as he has throughout the ball game. Falls behind on the count now. 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody on, 1 out in the bottom half of the 8th. Strike called. Oxenfeld looking to win this game. Swing and a foul ball out of play.
Well, that was outside.
You know, as I say though, with that left hand and the hook coming in there, you gotta
protect that outside corner because he's been hitting it.
He's been hitting it. The umpire has been calling it, and that ball breaks in on the right-handed batter too. Hits this one right back to the pitcher. Over to first for the 2nd out of the inning. So now the Warriors are down to their last out.
John Hatch is up.
John Hatt.
I said Hatch. I'm sorry, Hat.
Had a double in the 2nd, sacrifice fly in the 4th, and a single in the 6th. So he is 1 of 3 tonight. Struck out in the 1st inning. So Mr. Hatt is the last chance here for the Warriors to keep their chances alive. Been a well-played ball game by both teams. I have thoroughly enjoyed bringing this game. Hope the fans have enjoyed watching it. It's been a real good, interesting ball game.
Tim and I know why the umpires wear shin guards.
Yep.
That ball went right off his shot. If he didn't have that shin guard, he had been doing a little dance back there.
1-1 account. Oxenfeld a little low with that pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Had a little bit of a buzz coming in here.
Swing and a miss. coming from my mic.
Sure is. Smack you in the side of the head or something. Maybe your mic's got some allergies.
Oh, I got it a lot worse. Base hit. So Hat keeps it alive.
Big hit. Well, I don't know what you did, but
Can't hear me if I throw it right. You may have to do some play-by-play.
I don't. I hope the fans are not hearing that same interference that we are. Runner at first, 2 out. High and outside. Swing and a miss. Runner at first. We're going to probably opt for our optional mic here. Bob, is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think this one's hooked up and loud. Can you hear me with this?
No, I don't hear you on that one, so maybe we can get Scotty to turn that one on. Just outside. 2 outs, runner at first. The batter is Arredondo, and he is looking at a 2 balls and 1 strike count. Oxenfeld trying to salt this one away. High inside, 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count.
I tell you, he jammed him on that one, Tim. That was an excellent pitch. I want to talk into your mic.
There you go. We'll share this one. So the count is full. Runner is going. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and the game is over. And the Bethel Bruins have avenged their only defeat of the season with a 6-5 extra inning victory over the previously unbeaten Kecoughtan Warriors. So there you see the final score. A great game from the fans' point of view. An excellent game, and certainly congratulations to both teams. A very enjoyable contest.
Well, since you have the microphone, I'm going to let you.
All right, we're going to wrap it up real quickly here. Oxenfeld will get credit for the victory. And the loss will go to Morocco Brown as he came on in relief and allowed the winning run to be scored in the top half of the 8th inning. The final score again, the Bethel Bruins 6, the Kecoughtan Warriors 5. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon, everybody.